Okay, let's take a look. I'm not sure how much the stats are visible as they are right now. I think I can make this a bit smaller if I do it like this. Oh, unless something crashes. No, it's fine. Okay, so now it's like this, so I can smaller a bit. Okay, so let's get on with it and hopefully get it done in a reasonable time this time. Let me know if the stats are too small or too big. There's a lot of things on the screen right now, but what can you do? It might be useful. Let's go! And we start with Mexico, just barely. Starting strong, of course. Somewhat. And let's look. Apparently their economy has been booming. Supposedly they have higher GDP than Brazil and Gran Colombia as well. 1/3 of GDP of United States, but that of course is to be expected. They have a ton of money and a decent balance as well. Everything fine here. Standards of living pretty fine. Literacy not great, but actually has been increasing quite quickly. Still not enough innovation, so probably could use like 15 universities. I think Felix mentioned that he's aware of it at some point. Okay, and let's look from the top. People are really happy with them. That's some nice stuff that they're getting bonuses to, like 5% birth rate, 30, all pretty nice. They are currently a presidential republic. Yeah, has been pretty. Felix has been pretty vocal about switching landed voting. Landed voting is pretty nice to get because you can switch from autocracy and the landowners would not oppose it, which makes it a bit easier than to switch into other stuff. Eventually, state religions still, which I don't think would be too much of an issue in it's 94% Catholics anyway, so it's not that much of a deal. Appointed bureaucrats, really nice, though. Actually, they could get elected bureaucrats at the point they want. So appointed bureaucrats are nice because of the taxation capacity, which means they barely have any unrealized taxes, but elected bureaucrats mean you need far less administration for institutions, which is usually the biggest cost, but actually for them it's not that big yet. They probably don't have that many institutions, so this might be the best option for them. Laissez-faire. That's not how you pronounce it, but I'm not going to be looking it up right now because I forgot already how it goes. Per capita taxation, which is, I think there's like one nation that has proportional taxation at this point of the game. Apparently it's pretty hard to change because industrialists oppose those other changes, and there's basically only trade unions that support it, so it's usually pretty tough to switch out of, despite it being eventually better. But you need per capita taxation ASAP usually, in my experience. Mercantilism, they are keeping this one. Dedicated police force, religious schools, religious hospitals, not many changes. They do have slavery banned. I think they had but I'm not sure if they had slavery or not, but well, they certainly do not anymore. Institutions not that high, but at max, so they actually have a pretty low bureaucracy per investment cost. I guess that's 12 million. I feel like Austria has, I guess 4 times more would be about the cost of those. See, budget, they could rise their taxes easily. It is a fair amount of radicals actually. Of course, because they just conquered Cuba. Pretty nice state for them. Does Cuba have any? Cuba is not a bad industrial spot. Not that much iron and coal, but hey, iron and coal in a single province, that's a perfect place to get some steel mills. So they could definitely get more taxes. They have pretty high wages, which I guess it is... No, actually it doesn't matter, because it would be keeping the highest bonus from Intelligentsia, but Intelligentsia already doesn't have the highest bonus. And I don't think they care that much about prestige, so potentially they could increase their income by like 30k additional. Yeah, so they definitely could increase their construction by a lot. They have some issues with... is it just mountains? Yeah, it's just mountains. So that reduces their construction efficiency, nothing you can do about this. Building a lot of pretty standard stuff. Let's look at the American market. They are not having enough fine arts, not importing enough from Japan just yet. No, it's not that big of an issue in the grand scheme of things. Need a lot more glass. Oh, America's already started using the newest construction tech in at least a few of their states. So their construction points might be high despite not having that much construction. Fertilizer being alright. Canneries being that high. Lead being that high. They are producing ironclads in decent number. It's probably going to work out. Paper and coal would definitely use a bit more. There's a lot of things that would need just a bit more construction, but that's how it goes. Nothing that tragic. A lot of wood. I think America is finally like number 1 on number 2. Yeah, wood production in the world. So Russia is still far ahead. Russia is producing so much wood. Wow. I think they are exporting a lot of it to the British market. And let's see what they have a lot of iron. And they are mostly using it themselves, the Americans. They have a lot of oil from whales. Using it for food industries. I think it's like one of the techs I don't have, naturally. Guns, artillery. I think a lot of the like the prices of those goods skyrocketed when the wars were going on, and then they just crashed down. I don't think there's anything that can be done. You just have to have the potential, I guess, and then when the war starts, they will be slowly filling up again, because those factories are going to be so profitable. But yeah, when there's peace in the world, there's probably nothing you can do to keep the prices of those down. Military of Mexico is pretty tiny, all things considered. They are professional army, I think, right? Yeah, professional army 53. Still keeping up with Gran Colombia, and not that far behind Brazil. Battalions are the same in United States, but I think they are still militia. Yeah, national militia, which means they have a pretty decent conscription rate. So they will have a lot of conscripts to fight back. Let's take a quick look at technology. As I said, they are not using their literacy fully with universities. In production, I of course can only compare it to Austria, which is probably, as I mentioned before, like 5 or 6 techs behind. But it's still looking, but they are almost finished with the H2. And they have already 2 techs from H3 going for rubber, because apparently rubber is going to be skyrocketing in demand in US in just a few months. And by the way, like if you have techs in the in previous age, so this is like one tech that will take very quickly to research, you should go for it pretty much always. Like probably it would be faster for Mexico to research baking powder first and then go for rubber massification, because it can I check its cost? Let's see another tech. It's only 3,000, but still, you're increasing the cost by 25% just because you don't have this baking powder, which is almost finished. So yeah, I just realized you have to pay a lot of attention to this stuff. Military, they do not have sharpener artillery. nothing in the medical part. They're pretty far from the next training production methods. So quite far back on military and on navy. They do not have ironclads. So to be expected. They're getting hydraulic cranes developed by itself, which is pretty nice. I guess if you're a peaceful nation, that's one of the few things you actually care about to get, because you might potentially need more ports, but for Mexico, I think they have so many coastal provinces, it doesn't really matter that much. On buildings, on society, they are quite far back. They have, yeah, it looks pretty rough actually on society for Mexico. They barely have second age started. They do not have even modern sewage, which does like increase your max weekly construction progress, which does make construction faster on singular buildings. They are pretty far from steel frame buildings, which apparently US already has. They don't have even a single company. Oh, they do have one from laissez-faire, but that's it. Central banking is always necessary, especially since they have a ton of minting. Yeah, minting is over half of their national revenue. So that would be crazy good for them to get. Of course, central archives, they actually they do not need to push for more taxation because of the laws for bureaucrats they have. They do not need much more, I guess. They should just they will be behind on the steel frame buildings and more companies. I guess it's not terrible, and they are doing okay on production tree, which is the most important to them. Can see their production. Oh yeah, their population is increasing, but I think in case of Mexico, it's mostly from conquest, because they got Cuba, which is like what 1 million. I think Philippines went to. No, the Philippines are still a puppet of Spain, and I thought it went to United States, but I guess they just didn't have enough time. They didn't manage to get it from them. I'm not sure. Okay, so it's always tough with the First Nation because it's hard for me to compare it with other. And actually, let me see what was the tier list for the previous session. Where was Mexico? Mexico was in A, but that was because of stuff. I think Mexico is still in solid B, but I think it's stronger than it was last session. It's not perfect, and I think actually let's take a quick look at the graphs of their GDP income. So Mexico actually had one of the highest GDP changes per year, though those kind of statistics, I'm not sure how they like you have to include the fact that some people gain land from land and GDP from conquest. So, for example, Portugal conquered Ethiopia, it shared some with Egypt, and how much of this GDP increase is just from gaining those populations? It's a bit hard to tell when people are not changing much. Though Germany, Germany still gained Alsace-Lorraine, and this is one of the richest states in Europe, so surely Germany has been increasing their GDP by themselves a lot, but how much of this is the land gain and how much is just their economy growing in this 4.6%, it's a bit hard to tell. Still, Mexico is near the top, so that's good for them, and they are outgaining Brazil and Gran Colombia by quite a bit, so that's good for them, and I think solid B. And let's go for another. Sweden, which if you look at Sweden nowadays, there's not much Sweden anymore because about a quarter of the population left to the United States. So we're going to be talking about the United States. How nice for them. And let's look at the US, which is going to be nice because they're in the same market, so it's going to be a smooth. Oh, what? They are actually almost out of credit. I mean, surely they're not going to be going bankrupt. It's probably because of they switched their entire construction sector at once to steel, which is 32 construction sectors, and that's the same thing is happening in Great Britain, by the way. Well, the issue is there is no Netherlands in the tier list right now because they're not being played Cardiacs. So that's otherwise it would cost 1,000 points per tier list if you look at the point thingy. Yeah, so US is in very high debt. What else is new? How is their investment pool dealing with this? It's fine. Yeah, it's still like not out of it, which is what you do the worried about. Their interest is probably minimal. It is 50k at this point. Do they have laissez-faire? They don't have. They have protectionism. No, wait, not this one. Agrarism, and they're switching to interventionism. Yeah, one of the best things about laissez-faire is minus 25% loan interest rate. Yeah, actually no Kimi, for example. And Mexico is played by Feliz. From people who come to my mind quickly. They're building some basic stuff that were missing in the... Oh, a skyscraper as well. Basic stuff missing from the American market. More ports. This is a bit of a high debt. I don't like being this high in debt because of course they're not going to go bankrupt. They can just stop building at any point and their income is going to skyrocket back like to what? To 80k plus per month. But 50k interest it is being a bit much. And like 400 production points. I think it's about this. It's a bit more than Austria-Hungary because it's my most frame of reference. Yeah, so it's not like it's a super high amount of production points. Great Britain has like 900 at this point. Oh yeah, so Mexico goes to S tier. At this time, nations are going up instead of down. So it is valid because when you spend more on construction, your economy increases. But like if something actually were to happen to the United States, which it's not in a position of any danger, but it would be very hard for them to react in any way. Like Mexico could invade them right now, and I think the United States, they could just stop constructing. Though even then, the prices for goods would probably hurt them quite a bit. Like at this point, it is not impossible for Mexico to win versus the United States. Just saying. Just saying. No, the tiers are limited. Sorry, Gradiax. Because, I mean, I could add more tiers, but that would mean changing the layout of the stream. SS tier? I'm not sure if SS tier would fly well. Okay, let's back to the United States, presidential republic, census suffrage. That seems to be mostly stuff as it was at the start. They do not have a home affairs institution, which I mean, I guess is fine. I like National Guard because it gives more conscription rate, though I guess it's just not something United States care about. Agrarianism switching into protectionism, interventionism. I think that's very small change, like more investment pool from capitalists. And that's pretty much that, though. Does the United States have more capitalists than aristocrats? With how much they've been focusing apparently on agriculture, I'm not sure. Yeah, they have far more capitalists, looks like. And I assume farmers are not as rich as capitalists, even as a baseline, so... It is kind of close. Need to make. Wait a second. I click something and it's. And I cannot see chat anymore for some reason. What? Damn Twitch UI. Yeah, so probably better, but I don't think it's actually that much of a change. I would have personally gone from laissez-faire, but maybe I think it's better than it is in reality. Other than that, per capita taxation.
There's a lot of nuance to that question. So the answer is yes, we explored and are exploring all of the
rate of assembly, which
the
is
one we're
nice
currently
because
using is
Niagara
Niagara.
does have this pesky minus
really
10% technology spread,
really
which is
cool
a bit annoying.
Effects, like, across the board, and that's been just
Nothing
a delight to
here.
see
Legal
that
guardianship.
and what our VFX artists can do.
Do you start?
For Nanite, we are planning on exploring that in the next couple of months, just to see.
Wait a second. Oh yeah, for some reason something opened in my browser. And now I'm hearing myself. Yeah, I got it. Should be fine. Something reset for some reason. Yeah, United States have had a crazy jump in population. It's like the land they've been expanding into probably had barely any population. I mean, 500,000, but it's not nothing, but it's not much as well. And their population has tripled. Yeah, more or less, a bit less than tripled from the start of the game, so that's pretty wild. Let's look at the video started. That's fixed. So United States is definitely a powerhouse when it comes to economy, but I wonder if they won't have to stop a little bit. Oh, institutions are very nice for health system and for education. And do they get for education? Oh yeah, because they have restricted child labor. Did you switch the rights of women law, by the way, Joachim? Or do the United States start with this? Because even Austria starts with property to women, which I suppose it's possible for United States to start with this, but I would be surprised. Of course, buildings, yeah, super industrial. Why are you producing trains when there are perfectly viable trains available from Austria-Hungary? And this is one of those nations that are producing pretty much everything, and they can show up in pretty much every goods produced top list. Like iron probably is up there. Yeah, it's a very healthy market, and there's not that many people in it. It's just basically, I think the South America is still their own separate market, if I recall. Yeah, they have their own separate markets. So it's just Mexico and US. At this point, military, of course, it's they still have mobile artillery and some line infantry. I guess that's just not upgraded. And one of the most important things. Let's look at tech. And yeah, finished the entire H2 in production. Got almost the entire first row of the H3, which, to be fair, is like only like 5 techs ahead of Mexico, so not too bad for Mexico. They are keeping up as much as possible. This is probably the tech that's going to be increasing massively the use of rubber from United States. That's where they're pushing Mexico to get more of it. Yeah, US looks super fine on production. I wonder how they're doing on military. Yeah, they do not have shrapnel. They could research it pretty quickly. They are getting military statistics on its own, which would be pretty good because it's the next tech for barracks. And actually they could potentially start researching trench works, though it is the next age, so that would be pretty slow. and not really necessary for them. They are going for gantry cranes, which is expansion of ports, which is fine. I'm surprised they have like. Is it better to stack ports in single provinces, or do they have just no? Oh, they just don't have that much space, I guess, at this point. They could build a good amount more, though they are getting ironclad, so maybe they're trying to capitalize on it. And society, yeah, going pretty fast. They already have steel frame buildings, investment plans, so they have like 3 companies. Yeah. And there are still resources, weapons, and more resources, including rubber plantations. Can they build rubber plantations? No, not maybe it's here. No, looks like not. But I guess it's good just for the wood, because America is building a lot of logging places. Yeah, the society tech is also looking very healthy. I wouldn't be surprised if the United States were one of the top nations when it comes to technology, like right behind the. Okay, US actually starts with the first tier of the women's rights technology. Okay, so, I guess it's not too bad at the beginning, because you get a bit more birth rate, and it's not like you're short on peasants. And United States are still not short on peasants, though they probably like their natural birth rate doesn't really mean much compared to the giant migration rate they are getting. Let's see, what is the highest non-American culture currently in? Oh, of course, it's the Swedes. Yeah, a million Swedes. Swedes are the biggest non-American minority. There's more Swedes in the United States than Mexicans, and Mexicans are also moving en masse because they're in the same market. It's actually huge. And then even more than Mexicans, it's South Americans, I think, right? Those Platinian. I think those are from like Argentina. No. Or maybe it's like here. I have no clue. But anyways, United States definitely very strong, but when it comes to economy, army is decent for defense in their area, but the current money situation wouldn't leave much to defend themselves with. Their navy is... yeah, it actually fell back quite a bit. It used to be a bit close. It was like 3rd behind France, and now it's 6th. And they have 3,000 power projection. Yeah, they are stronger than Italy, though it might be messed up because of the revolution. How strong is Russia fleet, for example? Yeah, Russia definitely has a stronger fleet than United States. So strong economy, but other than that, like their potential is huge, and it's actually showing up now. But let's say A tier. Peru or Bolivia? Yeah, I'm not seeing those. Maybe they all moved to the United States. But I'm not seeing. Well, it doesn't matter. So let's go to the next one. I didn't remove roulette at any point, but I guess it didn't really matter. Powder keg, which means the nearest 2 things explode. There was also a beam choice to rename lowest tier to the previous nation, but I guess that's just not gonna happen. Which is also fine. And now we get France, which is currently not being played, so that might be useful for the next player that might be jumping on it. This time I will remove the roulette. France definitely could use players' action. From what I see, their issue with convoys come from supply routes. Are they at war somewhere, or do they have like their armies active? Yeah, it looks like they're yeah, their armies are mobilized, and that's why they're paying so much money for military, and that's why they're in so much debt. Who are they? Oh, they're fighting Qing, and they want a treaty port, or oh, I had no idea this was going on. I mean, they will probably win, right? I assume. Well, they need more troops here, and they're probably coming. Yeah, here they are. This does show me where the army is. There's a bit more coming. Something is coming from here, apparently. I guess this war must have just started because most of their army is. Where's their big army? Second Corps. Apparently they just abandoned Italy to go fight. Oh, their army is just about to show up on the front. Okay, never mind. And after both of those armies join, it's gonna be probably pretty fine. Like, I don't think AI China is going to be doing a great job managing the like attrition. But the good thing for the next French player, because nobody intervened in this war, means that France is going to get a free war on China, and there's nothing anyone can do about this at this point. They will get their treaty port most likely, unless something catastrophical happens to them. Life is pain, yeah. They are almost there, but of course they're not there yet, because that's how this game works. Yeah, they will have like Chinese will have 2-1 advantage, but that should be fine. I assume they still have the Chinese have some skirmish. Oh, that's line infantry, irregular infantry. Yeah, never mind. Irregular, skirmish, mobile, irregular. Yeah, it's probably not gonna work out. Never mind. So that's at least something. They will have nice access to the Chinese market. And they already have the Vietnamese puppet in here. I don't think they did. Oh, I think, yeah, Cambodia is also in the French market because it's a tributary of Vietnam. The French market is just those two. And then there's the Siamese market. And Siamese, I think it's not part of the British market, but is it like a tributary or something? No, it's a full independent nation. I guess India just intervened against France when they were trying to take Siam without being allied to them or anything. Okay, so that explains the current situation. There's still a fair amount of debt, considering the war must have started pretty not that long ago. So they must have had that, I guess, from the previous war against Germany, after they lost Alsace-Lorraine. That's fine, that's doable. And they probably have, yeah, they also have the construction sector at the newest production type, but it looks like AI removed a lot of construction sectors they had, which is fair because that means they can at least handle the cost of production, but they have like half the construction points of the United States, and they have laissez-faire, which means they effectively have 1/4 of production that they can actually use. Other than that, it's a private economy, so they have really low building capacity right now. Something that a player must put a bit higher on their priorities. They apparently They have a lot of radicals, but they managed to have them. It was much worse at some point. I guess the majority of them are from colonies, so it's fine. Not much of an issue. Their like basic stats are still fine. The GDP is behind Germany and Russia at this point, and quite far behind Great Britain. Though Great Britain is not that much ahead compared to where they used to be. I wonder how much their GDP would increase just from players like taking things under their control. They did lose Alsace-Lorraine though, and this is like what 7 million GDP just by in this one state. So that was a significant blow to the French economy. Literacy is pretty nice though. Oh, they are super low on universities. Their tech is probably not that high. With this, they have basically, like one big university with like 5 levels in Paris, and other than that, it's not great. Yes, this is actually a huge issue for them. Like, if the next player must basically do this first thing they can. More universities. AI is building some stuff, I guess. They do need more ports, though it's most of them are just being used temporarily for the armies. A player could probably just move some of them back and solve a bit of this issue. See the French market, they're missing dyes, which is the same as me. They're missing a lot of lead. This could be solvable. It is pretty high on the priority. Of course, cannons and small arms are going to be expensive because the state is paying massive amounts for troops. They are not using sugar, so it's not causing the increase in sugar prices. Clothes are a bit expensive. Probably want to lower that for the quality of life. Tools are a bit expensive. Fine art is okay. Ammunition is going to be expensive pretty much always in this case. Wood is the market could use some work. Steel is in alright place. Dynamo explosives are in alright place, I guess. Engines, ironclads, very nice. Are they the biggest? Yeah, they're number 3 producer of ironclads in the world right now, so that's pretty nice, actually. Iron is pretty cool, so like the basic production good. Number 3 producer for steamers as well, so those are 2 very important trade goods. Denmark is number 2 actually, that's pretty nice for Denmark. Pretty good. Whoa, super low prices of coal, so if anyone is missing coal, just import them from France. Very low price there. And hardwood is very like I find hardwood is very often very cheap because it's kind of annoying to manage it with it being the same building as the normal wood. So I'm not surprised it's overproduced massively. I think it's in most places in the world overproduced massively, which I guess at least gives the furniture manufacturers and arms industries a bit of a boost, though in the current situation the arms industries are probably doing pretty well for themselves anyways. So yeah, the French market is not as good as it used to be, though maybe the things would calm down a bit after ending this war. Like at this point, this is this hurting their trade access in provinces? Oh yeah, it is, and it is massively hurting their connection to the French colonies. So it's actually a bit hard to judge the French market as it is now. It could just a lot of problems could just fix themselves once they're fix their convoys. At least the big nations. Oh, Spain is in, of course, because they had a war. So Spain left the French market. This could also be part, and Belgium as well. Yeah, so that's probably why the French market is having some troubles. A lot of people left it, and there's also war going on, which is crashing their access to the colonies. And technology. I suspect there might be some point where it's not that great. Production is looking pretty decent, honestly. Like the entire H2 is finished. Age 3 is half, like almost the entire first row is finished, which is behind the United States, but it's not too bad, definitely. I'm surprised they have even that much, considering they really don't have many universities. Military is fine for this point. They have shrapnel artillery. They are in pretty much finished with the H3 for land stuff, so they are getting close to being able to research trench works pretty cheaply. They have ironclads, not much else here, but not too bad either for military. And in society they have steel frame buildings, they have a lot of companies at this point. They have the second age finished with depth. I'm not sure how the French are so good with tech when they have... Did like AI destroy some universities or something? I have no clue. That's kind of weird. They still have a massive army. With it is still the second greatest army in the world. It's probably a bit higher now than it would be if Germany mobilized, because France is mobilized. Now I wonder how much power projection would Russia have if they mobilized their battalions. It's hard to say without actually testing this stuff, but they're still at least like top 3 land power, and when it comes to their fleet, they are in theory the third with 5,000 power, which is more than Great Britain actually. So the French fleet is actually more modern than the British fleet. Of course they are behind Germany, but not that much actually. Yeah, so France does have second strongest fleet currently in the world, which is not too bad honestly, and a bit surprising. I wonder for how long was this the case. And they have luxury supplies, which is very nice because that's additional plus 10 offense defense, even though it makes armies more expensive. So yeah, overall France not doing too badly honestly, a bit surprisingly to me, but they are still very much viable, and despite the economy being weaker on paper than United States, if a player fixed it, I think they could still overtake them. Of course, in the long run, the United States are just gonna get more immigrants, and eventually, I don't think there's anything that could potentially stop United States from eclipsing France economically. But France does have more army and a better fleet. A quick look at their laws. They have private schools, private health insurance, guaranteed liberties. Pretty democratic and protectionism, though not pretty low institutions. Yeah, only education, no health system other than just 1 point, and it is private, so it's not as effective. They will have a lot of intelligentsia political power, I guess, from the private education, but it's not great. It's good for them to increase law enforcement because they will probably have a lot of radicals just in their colonies. So France definitely needs some fixing, so let's put them at tier B. But they can definitely jump back to A. If a player gets some fixes under control, maybe gets a nation or two into their market. Maybe just getting chink and selling stuff to them would be enough. So I think it's definitely, a comeback is definitely possible. It's not like that France is totally broken. And this debt is mostly coming from war expenses currently. Definitely fixable. Though there are some issues like not enough construction, not enough universities that need to be fixed. Oh yeah, the literacy is actually decreasing. So yeah, definitely something to take into account when the next player shows up on France. USA already talked about. And we have Brazil. That's gonna be interesting because Brazil used to be richer than Mexico. It is not anymore. So let's see what is the reason it changed. Definitely the population, just looking at the... that's interesting. And the population is lower, but not by much. I assume Mexico... let's see just the curve. Brazil has been losing people. They've been stagnating in population for quite a bit. The earlier part is mostly from expansion. I think they conquered a bit of land to their south. But Mexico has been steadily going up despite... The most recent jump is Cuba, of course, but it's been steadily going up despite losing pop to United States. I wonder where are the people of Brazil going? I guess, yeah, the lower strata is unhappy. Oh, the prices of grain is super high. Are they going for... oh yeah, they have their own events because of the DLC. And I have no clue how they work, so maybe it's something with this. But yeah, it looks like their lower strata is very unhappy. They have a fair amount of radicals. It is 25% of population, so it is starting to be a bit of an issue. But definitely manageable still. They have the highest taxes, so that's maybe something they could do. Maybe go even to lowest taxes, reduce wages. Oh wow, they are not spending much money on the military, so I guess this doesn't matter, but they could tank this deficit for a bit and maybe solve a bit of their issues with maybe stop consuming liquor, so the lower strata gets a bit lower prices. But I think the biggest issue is grain currently, plus 25%. What are they? I guess they're just not producing enough. That's just, maybe they had a trade route somewhere and they lost it. Yeah, they have super high prices of coal, high prices for steel, groceries as well, but that's I guess part of the when the population cannot buy grain, they try to buy different stuff, and it prices of everything are increased when it comes to food stuff in Brazil, which is a bit of an issue. Clothes expensive as well. There's so much expensive stuff. They are not importing from Austria, which is their biggest mistake. The Austrian trains are definitely the cheapest. You could buy paper, is expensive. Not too much, it's not that much of an issue, but it is increasing their costs as well. Steel and explosives, though they are not really using explosives. Yeah, the Brazil market is just lacking too many goods. I wonder because there's inactive trade routes to Russia. Maybe they used to be importing some stuff and suddenly it broke for one reason or another. The Brazil is not doing that well. Their market is not that healthy, I feel. They're using dragoons. Is it the defensive cavalry? Yeah, I think it's the defensive cavalry. Which is fine, though they are lacking a bit behind Gran Colombia. With those numbers, probably just higher population of Brazil would be enough to handle it. Though I would wonder how a fight would look along this long of a front. I guess in this game it doesn't really matter, but it could be interesting. Take a look at technology. They are also missing universities, but they do have more than France, for example, and they are definitely behind France, so that's interesting. They must have removed some of the universities in France or something, because that's really weird to be that low. Or I guess they put all of them in Alsace-Lorraine, but that doesn't sound like a good idea. Universities. No. So I'm not sure where the French universities went. Production is level. I think they're actually pretty close to production tech to Austria. But yeah, they're only now getting dynamite, which is very nice for all the mines. And they still have quite a bit of stuff to take from the second age. Bessemer process would help with steel, which is also high price, and only then they will go for rubber plantation, which will have not double the technology cost, but still probably like plus 6k in penalty because of the baking powder. They will have mechanized workshop probably by this time. And yeah, see, they are researching dynamite for like 2 years more, so like 3 years already, and they could research those in the same time, and will reduce like the price for dynamite by like half. So going for the techs from next age should really be done very strategically, much more than I thought. It's there's much more to consider than I thought. You really shouldn't be going for, like, I don't think there's that much need for Brazil to go for dynamite at this point, out of all things. Maybe rubber, but dynamite, I don't know. Military quite far behind, to be honest. They are not even close to getting shrapnel. That means not close to ironclads as well, because it's the next age. That's to be expected. I assume everyone in South America is not doing too hot. Society is better. They are researching automatically next company. Missing quite a few, like the pharmaceuticals. Could be nice if they had the means to get public healthcare. Yeah, that means they are quite far from steel frame buildings either way. Not great, but not terrible. They are behind Mexico, for example, in technology, and they're I guess Mexico is just getting the bonuses of being next to Daddy America in their market, and of course, like getting stuff like the Caribbean islands is also boosting Mexico's GDP. So yeah, I think Brazil is gonna go to C tier. It's definitely struggling a bit. It might be something with the trade, but it's not looking great, to be honest. And their technology might be slow to catch up to Mexico, for example. So definitely Mexico is now the top dog in the Latinx America. Okay, let's keep going. And we're going to Austria. It's kind of unfortunate because Austria is the only nation I know what's going on in, and I won't get that much comparison. I think things are a bit better than they were at the end of the last session, though they are still not perfect. I was in a bit of a grind logs when it comes to laws, but finally I can do push some stuff. Going to laissez-faire, it should be done pretty quickly because already 2 phases gone and 63% chance to success, which would mean I would get much more construction effectively, even if I do not have control over all of it. But I have so many peasants still, like what, 40% of my population is peasants? Yeah, 40% of my population is peasants, and I need all of those guys to get to work on something. Which means, yeah, there's a lot of production I need to do, even if basically build whatever, and I'm fine with it. The investment pool is looking healthy, so it should be fine. Basically no debt, and with laissez-faire I'm pretty sure I will be able to go into quite heavy debt without too much of an issue. Yeah, definitely a lot of peasants. Not that like I gained more peasants from those few states from the Ottomans, but to be fair, it's like basic. It's half of the population of the... a bit more like 3/4 population of the 2 Italian states, so in net I actually lost population, I think, this session, but it's still grown because of the... Yeah, you can see actually on this graph that after gaining it's still a bit lower than the top point, but just with the natural growth it is going up a tiny little bit. So this is to change. I will probably go for free trade because I'm trading with everyone anyways, so like the tariffs are not important and at least I get more competitiveness. Though it's not too much of a priority. Probably will want to go to get more education institutions because I feel like my yeah, as you can see the curve is slightly flattening. It is going down because of the new states, but I think it's going to not going to be as fast up, because I had, like, if you look at the stats, I had a pretty decent increase in literacy. I think like what is it, 0.9, yeah, 0.9 a year, which is like top third of the player base, but it's going to probably be going down. Yeah, I want to change bureaucrats eventually because my institutions are the vast majority of my bureaucracy spending. All of those are fine. And yeah, maybe once I get rid of my peasants I will switch into property to women, but that's actually pretty far away currently. Institutions I think are right. Maybe I should start getting a bit more law enforcement because I'm getting radicals from conquests, but that's not really a priority for me, at least. I do have the high taxes with possibility to increase, possibility to go down. It's all fine. I have to be keeping wages pretty high because I'm still balancing on the prestige bring. I can like gain 100 more with increased wages for military, but ideally I would want to move those down. That's not happening at the moment. I will be trying to build up a bit more military and a bit more fleet once I get the tech for navy. Hey Chips, you're Persia, I think? Persia wasn't reviewed yet. It's fine. The prices that I'm struggling with dice. I don't have anyone to import dice from, unfortunately, which means the prices are pretty high. Suddenly I got very high prices for clothes. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess a lot of my industry was in Italy, but still, I've built quite a few buildings and it's still pretty high. I'm not exactly sure why. My pups suddenly love tobacco, so that's a thing. They are getting a bit of opium from trade. Fine arts, still, despite producing quite a few, not enough for the world's hunger for fine arts. Oh, it's probably the Italian civil war, you're right. Yeah, good point. Fish and grain are a bit high price. I probably should do something about this. I'm importing already so much, maybe I should just focus on actually building the farms for myself. But we'll see, especially since my income of grain will be decreasing with subsistence farms going away. Fertilizer is fine. Sulfur probably also going down because of the... Actually the trade with Italy is still ongoing on sulfur somehow. So I'm not sure how that works. Other than that, like, the price of steel is fine, explosive is fine, and I'm actually not even using the explosives for iron mines, so I could have 2,000 more iron, but my market is, I don't think, ready. Already my iron price is pretty low, so that would be just flooding the market. Though it would put me as a second biggest producer of iron, which would be pretty nice, but it's not really rush. I will be massively increasing my production of steel with the next construction method, so probably at that point I will switch. Coal is pretty nice price, glass will be very important, so I will be probably boosting production of this at some point. Engines still very cheap in Austria. Yeah, I'm exporting more than half of what I'm producing, but yeah, still not enough. It's kind of weird because I'm producing a lot of engines, which means I have a low price, which means I'm competitive on other markets, but that means my company has low prosperity. It's like a so like ideally you'd be having high prices, which means you cannot export because you don't have competitive prices. I guess it makes sense, but with how the trade works, it's kind of weird. So yeah, I think the Austro-Hungarian market is fine, which probably most people didn't notice, but actually expanded this session with Switzerland. Don't tell anyone. And the Swiss are moving to Croatia and Hungary and Bavaria a bit. Yeah, everyone, like, the best place to be in Austria-Hungary is apparently Croatia for some reason. Because they have available employment, I guess, and some unused arable land. Bosnia is not a great place to be right now, and Montenegro. Which is not a particular surprise. Military is, of course, fine. I'm probably like a bit behind the top 3, French, Germany and Russia, but not by much. And the technology, it's probably not looking great. I still don't have full H2 for production, which I would probably need pretty badly. Like, this dynamite was really probably too expensive for what it's giving me. And though I don't think there's, I guess I would really like reinforced concrete at some point. And it's not super expensive, but as you can see, it's like 50% more expensive just because of the Bessemer process, which is going to be done in a second, and then the baking powder. Military, I think, is pretty alright. I have the second age done fully actually, and getting there on the third, but that's still behind places like Germany or United Kingdom. Though I'm not sure how much United Kingdom has in the naval tree. And the society is also like, I went for identification documents without finishing all stuff before, so that was also costly. I will ideally want to get steel frame buildings ASAP to start switching into the next production method, but probably will actually go for the labor movement and postal savings to yeah, probably would be worth it to go for those first, especially since postal saving is already being researched by itself. So yeah, I think the gap between me and an average great power has decreased, but I think Austria still goes to the B tier, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it's pretty close to the France as it is in their current a bit dire situation economically after everyone left their customs market. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Let's see who's next. United Kingdom, that's actually going to be interesting, because when I took a little peek after the game, there's been something very interesting going on. Great Britain is in super high debt, and they are making a ton of money. You might be wondering how that is. This is because they switched their entire construction sector of 81 buildings to steel at the same time, which means they, when you switch it on, and let the game go for a bit, they are losing over 100k at once. I wonder if their investment pool actually should be able to handle it, but it's close to being too much. So yeah, the British, and they do have laissez-faire, so still that's a lot more construction than they could handle. Though maybe, oh, they already have highest taxes. They probably could lower wages, but still 100k, even for Great Britain. They're not paying much interest, so that's fine, but that's way too much construction. And I think like it's better to just remove a few construction sectors because they build in like 3 weeks anyways, and then keep them on or off at some point. So I guess in laissez-faire it's not as important, but it's just so you maintain a steady market usage of steel and glass and so on. Maybe if they got more, yeah, glass is pretty huge in price currently in United Kingdom. Let's load the save before unpause. But yeah, that's something Great Britain really needs to figure out at this point. Especially since with this high tech, they are really vulnerable. Because once they raise their army, they're probably going to be making maybe like, I don't know, 30k? Oh wait, actually do they have their army mobilized? Oh, they have a solid chunk of their army mobilized, so that's also increasing to the costs. So yeah, actually they're probably going to be fine to keep all of their army mobilized, never mind. Wow, they're getting a lot of money from diplomatic pacts. How much is it from India? Only 2/3 actually. Who is also giving them a lot of money? And others are not standing out as much. Okay, they're getting actually a lot of money from 1/4 of Great Britain's income is from diplomatic pacts. That's actually more than I thought. Yeah, I mean, at this point, probably raiding their convoys would kill their economy anyways. But as it is right now, they're really close to bankrupting. So there's they have really small amount of space to maneuver either way. And it's already with no construction going on. No public construction, there's a lot of private stuff going on, so it's something, but it's not ideal. They're not going to be getting precise stuff that they need. Yeah, not to mention that the Germany fleet right now is way more powerful than, despite having lower numbers, Great Britain has 5,000 power and German has 7.5. So right now Great Britain is a pretty rough spot. I guess they are fighting in Italy, that's why their armies are mobilized. And a few of the rebellions as well. Yeah, I feel like last session there was a lot of rebellions for Great Britain, and of course most of them are super tiny. That's still something that it's not much of an issue. Oh, I guess this one is being handled by the East India Company. Yeah, Great Britain is not in a great spot currently. Economy, of course, is still super high. Though Germany is getting very close, even Russia is getting closer than they would probably want to. United States, of course, there's not much you can do with all of their immigration. What's the population for Great Britain? The population for Great Britain has been doing some weird stuff, but I'm thinking it's because of annexations and like releases of provinces as colonies or something. But actually the population is not that high. Yeah, they're behind Japan at this point, behind Germany, behind pretty much everyone. Like even Italy would be, so it's 20k of those, and then yeah, Italy would still be behind, but not that much. I think GB, I don't, I guess maybe try to gain some more provinces directly. Oh, though I guess it doesn't really matter because they get so much money from diplomacy. Though, do they have And they still have 4 million peasants, so that's something they can do. And I guess with not that much public production they can do, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Technologies, that's the very important part. They have way more universities that they need, so absolutely fine. And yeah, full H2 for industry. Pretty good tier 3. Though not that much really useful stuff. I guess more steel, dynamite, fertilizers are all nice, reinforced concrete, but made packaging, is it that useful? Rubber plantations for... Maybe it was automatic as well, so hard to tell. Military, decent. They have the, let's say, newest production method, though wargaming has been available to a few people, I think, at this point. Ironclads, they already have them. They are more behind on the naval tech than the land, so yeah, I guess that they are waiting to upgrade their fleets, I think, at this point, but it is going pretty slow because they weren't in port apparently. So that's something that needs to be solved. And society, oh, they are doing super well on society. They're actually coming close to finish H3 at this point. Though, like, I think society after a certain point, it's not as good as military in production. I mean, sure, like market access, it's really nice. For some people, taxation might be good, though Great Britain actually has full usage of their taxation. Feminism can be really good. It's actually, for Great Britain, feminism might be good because they would get more workers. So that's something they could aim for. Let's look at their laws. Yeah, they could go 10% more workforce ratio, which is pretty nice. Free trade, laissez-faire, per capita taxation, private schools and healthcare, which is probably why their literacy is not that high, despite having as much institutions as possible in every category. Well, voting. Okay, so not a real democracy. Professional army, appointed bureaucrats. Nothing too surprising, and not much changes in laws for Great Britain, from what I can see. So at the very current moment, I think the Great Britain is a bit of a precarious spot, though in a bit of a long term, of course, it is all workable, and I think they still belong in Tier A. My 6th largest streamer of Victoria. Let me see this. I've been the largest streamer of EU4 before. No, don't start a video, please. Yeah, you need to pick an hour where no one is on. That's the secret.
Racial
no,
segregation.
no, silence. No, please, no racial segregation. Hell yeah, number 6. For some reason, yeah, we just need just need 10 more to be number 5. Easy W. Okay, so Great Britain done. Let's move on. Forgot to remove the roulette again. Oh, Denmark. That's gonna be interesting because it's one of the tiny nations that play completely differently than the great powers. So that could be interesting to take a look at. They are apparently the luckiest nation when it comes to getting prestige bonuses from poetry, because they have 4 going on right now, which is almost half of their, 1/3 of their prestige, which is very impressive. Are they behind or ahead of Belgium? Belgium is ahead, actually. Yep, bonuses are permanent. They could get a bit more prestige from armies, but probably they don't have that many regiments, so wouldn't matter that much. They have full wages for government and low taxes. So in theory they could get a lot more money, but the question is, do they need more money? I assume they do not have peasants at this point. Yeah, 0 peasants. They could increase mechanization and some stuff, but actually they have quite a bit of it already. No, if they went for more rail, the question is, would the rail requires transportation, which requires workers as well. So at which point does it become valid? Like you lose 2k for 10 construction. 1 railway gives how much? 3, and it takes 5k employment. It's not ideal, to be honest, not super efficient. Even with steel passenger carries, it's not going to be super. It even increases employment a bit. To be honest, it might be hard to go fully mechanized. I feel like the productivity of railways is a bit low for what would be needed to change stuff like farms. Yeah, Sweden is lower population than Denmark probably at this point. Close. It's actually very close. Norway, yeah, Sweden gone. 100% they could go, and actually Sweden is, yeah, they're in their market is still in a catastrophic state because of the population going down. So Sweden might be. Yeah, I'm surprised their standards of living isn't going way down. The literacy, I think, was going down at some point, but maybe not anymore. Yeah, possible. Denmark could go for Norway and Sweden. Denmark is still part of the Genmar market, which I assume would be pretty healthy. Higher prices of gloves everywhere. That's kind of surprising. Decently high prices of grain in Germany. So probably could use a bit more food, a bit more wood as well. Tools pretty nice. Iron, steel probably very cheap. Yeah, glass as well. So they are getting ready to move to the next construction. Yeah, I'd actually already using it in Germany quite massively. A lot of military shipyards. I wonder how Denmark is top production for. Yeah, only for steamers. And I think most the production of military ships is Germany. Denmark is still number 4. Just from those two, I guess. And this is just recruiting still. They have very high literacy, but no universities. Probably because they said something about lacking population, which means their tech will be nice from literacy, but they don't have that much direct research. No, it's maybe I'm underselling the technology spread, I suppose, because you are researching 3 techs at the same time from always, I think, from the spread. So I guess the literacy is more important than universities. Well, they are not building ships from wood anymore, so yeah, they are pretty much on top the production tech. Military tech, of course, behind, but I guess they're just not paying any attention to it. Though not too bad behind at the same time. They could catch up if they focused it a bit. And social tech finished H2, so very nice. And even have steel frame buildings themselves. Yeah, so he has more than depends on the role, which I'm not sure if it's totally RNG or if it's weighted in any way. But I guess if we take average of 100, then 6 times the research from his innovation is 6 times more he gains from spread. And I guess even if he went for maximal, the spread would be still double or triple his actual research income, let's say. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how it's calculated. So it's literacy, rural trait innovative 10%. That's nice. But is it affected by how many people have certain technologies? I wonder. Still, that's pretty damn good. And yeah, Denmark actually found their little niche in production of ships. Though they are still struggling with population, and maybe they will find some way to solve it. Do they have any colonies other than... I think they used to have tiny bit of in Indonesia somewhere, but maybe not anymore. Oh, they're laws. They have National Guard, which I think in this case there are 23 battalions to be mobilized. Not worth much. Interventionism, which I suppose is fair. It's not like they need to build a lot with laissez-faire or have a big debt. Free trade, rights of assembly. Nothing surprising. Very nice institutions because they are super cheap for them. I think they can get like 2 or 3 institutions with 1 building or something, and they have elected bureaucrats as well. So super simple for them. I guess Denmark now is jumping a bit ahead for me to tier A, honestly. They used to be... wonder how Belgium is in comparison. Belgium has much higher GDP, but they also have like almost 4 times the population. So yeah, Denmark is actually looking nicer than before. And Gran Colombia, the final of the American players. Oh, so apparently technology spread doesn't matter compared to like how many people have, but you cannot get spread to text that nobody has, right? Somebody needs to research it first to even get the spread, right? Let's see how long the delay is. Gran Colombia has pretty nice balance and pretty nice reserve. Yeah, you can't overtake, which I guess in the Denmark's case is absolutely fine. It's actually most nations' cases except for like Great Britain and maybe France at the beginning. Oh, they are not really constructing much. They are not using their... Are they using their construction fully? I guess they are. They have laissez-faire, looks like. So they're building a railway currently. They have only 12 construction sectors with the second tech, so that's really not many. I think Mexico has like 20? 17, okay, not that much more, but still, it is more. And Brazil has 40. So that's... yeah, that's way more than Colombia. I'm even surprised. Oh, they do have laissez-faire, so that's also reducing the costs for Brazil by a fair amount. I'm surprised they're... I'm surprised... oh yeah, investment pool might be going down, but it's not too bad. That's interesting. Brazil has more construction than both Gran Colombia and Mexico combined, though they are having issues, so they definitely need the construction. And let's see the Venezuelan market. It still has some issues of the smaller nations from the beginning of the game, when there are goods that are just not produced in any way in their country and they cannot import enough, so the prices are just skyrocketing. Paper, wood, tools, coal. Oh, there's even iron has high price. There's a lot of stuff they're missing. Just looks like just like Brazil, their economy is just not getting enough stuff. They could probably reduce the production of hardwood, because they really don't need that much, and they could use some extra wood. Looks like they have some similar issues. And yeah, they actually could be making even more money, so their construction is definitely behind what they could be using, and they need to get a lot more goods. Yeah, still 1.5 million peasants. Not that much people living in Chile, which I guess is to be expected. Let's take a look at the laws. Pretty nice institutions. Catholic education, but that's not too bad. Proportional taxation, the first nation so far I think that I've seen this with. And they actually gain a fair amount of money from this. Presidential republic, state religion shouldn't matter too much. No police, which since they're not expanding anymore. Legacy slavery. And how strong are their landowners? Yeah, pretty strong. And Catholic Church is also pretty strong, which is probably, though rural folk are super strong as well. Intelligentsia and armed forces are both marginalized, and petite bourgeoisie is 11%. That's a really weird set. Not really that common, but interesting. Quick look at their tax. Society is Austria level, which is pretty bad. Do they have enough universities? Nope, no they don't. And they have much lower literacy than Denmark, so obviously this is also hurting them. They do not have ironclads yet. They are not done with the second age of military, so it would be quite expensive for them to get those. Military is, of course, on par with neighbors. Production is not too bad actually, but they are quite far from rubber, and I assume they are also a nation that could produce a lot, and that would be a nice way to expand their economy. The production is definitely production and society tech wise is not too bad for Gran Colombia, but not great either. I think they're in economically better position than Brazil, but they both have the same problems in their markets, are not really still balanced. For like, to be fair, like if they went for more construction, their market would also collapse quite quickly because they're just not mining enough stuff, and they're also unable to import. Maybe I should just start exporting stuff to them myself. No, they could import quite a bit. I should probably start trying to sell them stuff. Yeah, they could import quite a bit and help with their prices. Yeah, both similar problems and still growing, but looks like Mexico is overtaking them. At least Gran Colombia is increasing with population quite healthily, unlike Brazil. Though it will be a long time before Gran Colombia overtakes Brazil in population. So I think Gran Colombia, same level as Brazil. Maybe both of those would be better off if they joined somebody's, either America or British or like French. They would actually have a land border with France. And even German market. Join one of those markets and just suck raw resources from them to get more production. Maybe that would be a better play for South America, though I never played there, so I'm not entirely sure. Slowly getting to the end. Japan, yes. Yeah, actually curious, because I think Japan was forcefully, or not forcefully, I'm not entirely sure, opened up. They have great literacy, I think they're close to Denmark's level. Yeah, number 3 in the world. Behind, oh, top 3 is Denmark, Portugal, then Japan, Sweden, unfortunate, Switzerland, which means the Swiss pops are increasing literacy in Austria, Greece is up there, and Norway, and then Germany. And then Persia, yeah, Persia, for some reason, Persia always has pretty nice literacy. I think it's because they have very high authority, and you can just spam edicts to increase education. So very often Persia is the green island of literacy in Asia. Let's see, their construction is still South America level and not the Brazilian kind. It's not as bad as Gran Colombia, but it's not great either. They are making a bit of money, so surely they could get more. Let's see their market. Coal is a bit high, steel a bit high, wood a bit high, but iron is very cheap. And they are producing this all themselves, so they could import more probably. Iron is cheap in a lot of places, I think. Tools are very cheap. Yeah, they definitely could get more construction at this point. They are on max taxes, and I think they are getting radicals now. Or do they still have the Buddhist monk? Yeah, actually they still have Buddhist monk bonus. Never mind. And they are getting radicals from decreasing standards of living. So I guess it's not a multiplicative, but additive bonus to reducing radicals. And they're getting more because taxes gives plus 50, so they have minus 50 effectively, I guess. And they have a lot of unrealized taxes. Oh, a lot unrealized taxes. Now still they could be making a ton of money, and they have a good bank, so probably construction should be something to prioritize at this point. Ton of peasants, of course, if you'd expect. Well, 23 million. Yeah, they have a lot of industrialization to do. Their laws, freedom of conscience, hereditary bureaucrats, which is not ideal, but public health insurance, religious school. Oh, still land-based taxation, so they could be earning even more money if they got something better. There's and closed borders still. Yeah, there's a lot of changes in laws to do, and they could use some more healthcare. Because you need job taxes to get government. Oh, you have problems with government legitimacy. I guess, would you be able to? Yeah, if you drop taxes to the full, you could get petite bourgeoisie in, maybe? Or who else would get some good voting laws? Only industrialists or intelligentsia would support this. And can you get them in government even? Oh yeah, just barely industrialists. So yeah, there is some possibility, and I guess yeah, if you drop taxes, that would be quite a bit of decrease in income. Not much anime being produced in Japan, though they are starting to export it. Who is the first? America is the first nation to receive anime. Clothes super expensive, like in most places for some reason. I wonder how the British market is doing on clothes. Yeah, the one place where even then it's not cheap, it's just neutral. I wonder what happened with that. Coal pretty expensive, paper pretty expensive, so that could be one way to decrease costs a little bit, just more paper. Otherwise it's fine. Basic goods are pretty cheap. Tools especially, that's nice. Definitely could use more construction, but I guess if you're waiting to save up money, then maybe the tax should take priority. Yeah. Japan has out of universities, could still build more, and they are getting a ton from spread. Oh, they are getting minus 20% from unrecognized regional power actually, and minus 10 from censorship, so that's decreasing, but they're still pretty okay on production. A bit behind, but not too much. They will be able to catch up, especially once they get recognized by someone. Military is not too good. Actually, military is pretty rough. both in naval and land. And society, yeah, about as good as production. A bit behind, but not too much. But I'm pretty sure once they get things going with their literacy, they will be able to catch up pretty quickly. Yeah, I guess since Japan industry is not that great, their armies are, assume, yeah, as big as you'd expect from a nation that has no direct threats and no fleet. There's definitely very high potential, but I think at this point it's still a B for Japan, which I think they were last time. They were in A actually, so I think they're... Yeah, but I think it's fair. It's like the potential is... there's gonna be a rough time for Japan before they fix some laws, and only then they can unleash their full potential. So they have a very good base point for this, with their literacy and nice population as well, already pretty high GDP. And barely any radicals, of course. That's really nice. Egypt. It's not in a civil war this time. It has much uglier borders in Ethiopia. It's oof, like this state border, it's gonna look rough no matter how you slice it. It's very unfortunate. They have some space to maneuver with taxes. They could lower the wages if they wanted to, but they are keeping them high for some reason. Maybe... Oh yeah, they are getting intelligentsia happy with those wages at least. They get more immigration attractiveness, so I'm not sure how useful it is for Egypt, who is in their own market still, so there's... I think they're absolutely fine on prestige, like... Unless they did it like in the end of the game to get more. Oh, they have only 17 construction sectors. And they're actually, maybe they are going for prestige for some reason, because they are building more armies. A lot more wheat, a lot more coal. Yeah, I think they're one of the biggest producers of wheat at this point. Not really. I mean, I guess for their size. But even for their size, they could probably at least go beyond French Republic.
Yeah, I actually researched another fertilizer tech, but I don't think I implemented it yet.
Let's see. Oh yeah, you didn't yet. Yeah, with this, oh yeah, that would be huge. You will be top 3 at least, if not more.
I was kind of trying to solve my prestige situation and forgot about it, because...
What's your prestige issue?
My prestige issue is that I'm not a minor power anymore, or major power, whatever.
You want to go to the major
rank. I need to have the higher rank to ask for recognition, which I have promised from Russia.
Yeah, but you don't have to keep the wages, because it's just instant switch. It doesn't get like.
No, one way to solve this prestige issue would be to fill Suez Canal, but that is the huge problem with my borders law, with the closed borders, because no one can go to Sinai. So that's why I'm trying to pass it, as you can see.
Yeah, subsidizing. Decent chance, but 18% stall and already 2 setbacks.
Yeah, it's really dependent on RNG now. Well, in the worst case, I think I might as well just demolish some stuff in Sinai to try to fill it. If it's filled, it's 100 prestige, which would single-handedly push me back to the major power and get me that.
Yeah, like there's really no reason the motor industries are there. And railways.
That's work of the AI.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yes.
Let's look at your laws. Appointed bureaucrats, I assume that's new. Secret police, public still no health system. Rights of assembly. That's nice.
Sorry?
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you have that from the start.
That's what Egypt starts with, Rights of Assembly.
Okay, institutions. Do you have colonies somewhere?
There is some colonizable land.
Yeah, next to you.
In Ethiopia, but that will be even worse border government. I don't have that much bureaucracy
Yeah,
to waste.
fair.
I already have the bureaucracy debuff from the migration controls.
I guess it gives you at least something while you're incorporating the states, I suppose. Just no, you have no colonial affairs. So why do you even have the institution? Oh, it's home affairs, not colonial affairs. Never mind. It's the secret police. Yeah, but you will be needing a lot more fertilizer, so...
The United States are providing a lot of them along with shipping, and
yeah,
I think the trade balance can... If I reset that, the trade balance will eventually even
I'm
out.
actually giving you way more fertilizers than America right now. But as apparently Italy will also be able to export it to you.
Well, I think the trade will eventually solve it once I switch it.
You still don't have enough universities for your current innovation. Although your literacy is not that high, either way. And I think your construction is pretty low, all things considered.
It's still actually lower. It was higher when I had the triple investment from the Suez Canal, from Russia, and from the Americans. But yeah, my economy is not doing that great to support a huge construction. And I can't really go to that as an unrecognized power.
That is true. And I guess building wheat farms and so on is nice, but it doesn't really help you deal with landowners and solve some of the issues with that. So that's also not ideal. Are there most people do not care about the migration controls, but still it's tough to pass it either way. Let's look at tech. Yeah, you rushed improved fertilizer, which I think in your case it is understandable. It does give you a lot when you're focused on agriculture. Though still you do need quite a few more techs in production. Quite far behind in military, both in navy and land, but that's to be expected. Just not enough literacy to get all that stuff. And society, society is also suffering quite a bit. You at least have, I think, decent education, right?
Yeah, education at level 3.
You actually see your literacy is just skyrocketing up at this point.
Yeah, and I think there are some universities in the business.
A few, but I think you will need even more. You need like 15 at least. I did probably even more because your literacy is increasing so fast.
Yeah, momentarily have that kind of fragile economy to balance. So
yeah, it is not too bad though. Most of your radicals are in Ethiopia anyways, and they will be...
yeah, that's the state of Gondar. It has millions of people. And
how are you incorporating this so much faster than...
Gondar had an uprising which kind of halted the
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
and also it's a larger state population-wise, so it takes longer.
Oh, it is. True. And those have malaria as well.
Yeah, but not necessarily to colonize.
So let's think where to put Egypt. I think it's B at this point. Maybe once you get rid of the closed borders and your economy will be able to balance itself a bit better. Oh, by the way, quick tip, there's a province in Arabian Peninsula. There's one province with pretty decent population. All of else is super tiny population, but Quasimid state is actually over 1 million people.
I had kind of a huge infamy, so I didn't care much about.
Oh yeah, I guess you
about
just
action.
gained a ton of population from
Yeah.
this, but eventually it might be something. Before anyone else notices, it's actually worth it to take.
Oh, I'll consider that. Maybe an exercise along the way to get direct
Yeah,
border.
you possibly you can even annex them without play starting. That's always nice.
I think they're rebellious, actually. But
Oh yeah,
I'll see what I can do.
yeah. Just plop a guy to make them like you again, and that should be fine. Okay, and on to the next nation.
See ya.
See ya. Yeah, Georgia, it's another case of USA producing wood, right? Because I'm exporting 4 times as much fertilizer to Egypt as you are. And Germany, probably the biggest economy, at least by their expansion. How much did they gain? Let's look at the statistics. They gained only 5% per year, but I guess it's it's in the same tier as it's actually faster than the United States. So yeah, the fastest growing great power, pretty sure. Yep. Behind Great Britain and of course India and Qing, who are basically working according to different rules. They are losing a lot of money. What? Oh, because they have their army in Italy doing like everyone is supporting them. This war will be over pretty soon, and at that point they will probably be... They are not using all their entire construction as well, I think. How much money would they be? Let's just do a quick test. Yeah, I don't think they can afford their entire construction. They have a huge construction sector, but I don't think they can afford it at the moment. Even if they were paying no goods for military buildings, which is not gonna happen, they would still be losing money. So yeah, either they will need to switch to laissez-faire or maybe reduce a few construction sectors. I think that's really a viable thing to do. Just remove a few or switch a few to lower production method. It's not like construction sectors are built pretty much instantly. Yeah, but even if they didn't have any troops, and I'm pretty sure they're not even mobilizing their entire army at this point. Yeah. No. Like half of it? More than half of the army is mobilized country, but still, if they were going full construction, they would be losing money. It's nowhere near, but it's pretty close. But they do have a better navy, so that's a thing going for them. So both Germany and Great Britain being a bit aggressive in switching to the steel frame buildings, yeah, that's how it's called. But something to work out, kinks to fix. Though that's one thing that the British have going for them is they have laissez-faire and Germany doesn't, which means they are paying a bit more. They are parliamentary republic, one of the few currently in the game. I think France is presidential. Yeah. Is Denmark also? Denmark is a monarchy. Belgium is parliamentary. Yeah, everyone is presidential republic. Are there... Yeah, not many actual parliamentary republics. Public schools, public healthcare, dedicated police force, pretty high institutions, including for police. They have very high literacy despite not being on the highest education. I wonder how they're achieving this. They do not have anything that would increase any edicts increasing education. So I wonder how is that happening. They have max universities, so their tech is probably doing crazy. Oh, never mind. They can just increase taxes and lower. No, never mind. They are doing absolutely fine. They cannot have their armies raised and production, but they will probably be fine if they're increased taxes. Ooh, looks like a bit more radicals in the east here, probably Poles. Are they being oppressed? Yeah, they're being oppressed because of national supremacy. Military, of course, super great, the best navy in game, the top 3 army in game as well. Technology in production really good, done with the second age and pretty pretty equal to Great Britain, I think. In production, military probably the best mil tech in game currently. Almost finished with the 3rd era, which means they will be getting the next unit, next production method. And society is okay. It's not as on top of things as on other, but pretty close to the... I think Britain has a bit more, but still pretty close to the first place. So yeah, I think all things considered, Germany is going to be the first nation that legitimately gets to the S tier. Because they have the strongest navy, one of the strongest armies, one of the strongest economies, and they have pretty good perspectives to gain even more. And they have a lot of people in their market, and it's super strong as well. So yeah, I think Germany has some really good perspectives. And the wheel is getting really small. Now that we got both USA and Egypt out, I'm not sure who's going to be last. Portugal. Portugal is going to be interesting because they're, I think, the only tiny nation with a huge colonial empire at this point. Belgium's colonies are not really going anywhere. They have them started, but they have a bit of a... I guess that would be Congo in here? Cameroon. Sweden had a tiny colony here, but I wouldn't be surprised if those people also went to the United States. Can I get the graph for a state? I cannot. They have higher mortality anyway, so there's barely any people there anyway, so... UK to B tier, huh? Well, as you say, they have way too much money. They are still part of the British market, I think. Yep. How is the British market, by the way? More arts, more groceries, more fertilizer. Yeah, I think fertilizer is going to be pretty high in demand pretty soon. They are not importing Austrian trains, which is probably one of the causes of their struggles because of the mutual blockade. They have a bit of a market access issue in Portugal. Not ideal prices of some basic goods. Iron is probably cheap, I assume. Yeah, iron is cheap, steel is cheap, so that's at least that. Steamers are super cheap, probably because a lot of nations in the British market are not using steamers yet. Weapons and artillery, of course, super cheap. already starting in rubber plantation. That's probably the first rubber plantation in the game, and it's made in Ceylon, which is, I think, directly controlled by Great Britain. Yes. Oh, people don't like GB. This is to be expected. Last time it was US. Somebody had to go down. So I think Portugal definitely could afford to get a few more construction sectors at this point, especially since their taxes are low. They have decent prestige for what they need. They are building more army, maybe for revolts. Because if you look at their colonial empire, assume it's all directly controlled by them. Let's look at the population graphs actually. Yeah, the average Portuguese, yeah, it's like 16% of their population at this point. Yeah, Portugal is pretty interesting in this game because of their super many colonies. They have pretty good institutions because I assume most of those states are not incorporated. Yep, as you'd think. Oh, France got this beautiful chunk of Morocco, and this is AI work. Absolutely stunning work. Great job. Assume those troops are mostly for revolutions, and they are building them in colonies for some reason. They are getting more gold mines. How many more they could get? Yeah, they're getting all of them, which is pretty smart move. Already minting is 3/4 of their income. Wow, Portugal is a super interesting nation. It's playing quite a different game than everyone else. Their laws are monarchy, oligarchy, culture, exclusion. Still far from accepting everyone. Appointed bureaucrats, which might be pretty. Actually, they're not getting taxes from colonies anyways, so actually those doesn't really matter much. They're getting dedicated police force, still religious schools, charity hospitals, colonial exploitation, which is probably to be expected. Yeah, because this just gives attraction, which would be nice if you had a decent population to move and dominate colonies, but if you have more colonies than mainland, it's probably the only way to go. And proportional taxation, second nation with this. Not that much of a difference for them, but at least rather than per capita, but at least something. Really nice literacy in Portugal as well. I wonder how their tech is doing. Society is actually not that great. They do not have universities, but as already discussed, the spread should be doing a lot of work. Oh no, Britain was finished. You know that Tommy is going to blame me that I'm doing some work against UK, and it's all your guys' fault. You could move UK up, by the way, Joacho. You probably got enough points at this point. I'm not sure how fast you earn those points. I think that the rate is decent. And military is behind, but actually the only reason a small nation would probably go for military tree is because of the naval stuff. Like, it's not like they can fight anyone anyways. Maybe if they went full all in, they could find Spain. I guess their population is going up. Maybe I'm underestimating the colonial empire potential. Yeah, because that's the nice thing. They get super high literacy rate from their incorporated states. So they get pretty good tech, but they could use the potential of the populations from colonies. I probably should try a single player game with like Portugal or maybe Netherlands or Belgium, and try to get a huge colonial empire and try to win like a land war versus France or something. I don't think you get points from writing more. I think you get points like every now and then there should be showing up a button you press and you get some points. It's like Twitch is checking if you're paying attention. And there's like stuff like stabbing that also gives more points. Of course. But that probably is... actually, I don't think it's even that much. You mostly just gain it passively. Yeah, so Portugal is a very interesting nation, though not really relevant in our current game. Especially since they're part of the British market, so it's hard to say how their economy is doing on its own, and actually how hard they were affected by the British market, because being in a British market is a whole different game than being in any other great power or in your own market. That's pretty interesting overall. So Portugal goes... and their technology is pretty nice, their setup is interesting. I guess they could go into B in the end. But I'm very curious how they're going to go from now on, honestly. I cannot move the UK down anymore. I think, right? It's already at the bottom. And we have already discussed that I'm not adding additional tiers. It's a bad precedent to make. Spain. So Spain is not being played. But I think if we could, like, now that France is missing as well, that's probably a priority. But Spain is, last time I looked, it's really a nice nation. So I wanted just to take a quick look, see. They are losing their major power status. They could probably... Oh, they cannot really stop that. Still, they have a bit of a credit, but they have really nice income. Not too bad construction sectors for an AI, honestly. Oh, they are not building anything. That's probably why they're making money. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, minus 14. Not too bad. They have a fair amount of radicals, but it's not that devastating. Something weird must have happened. I guess maybe they could try to use one of those movements to deal with this. There's two nations with consumption taxes. Oh wow, what? How do they even have that much authority? I mean, I guess most of those are on luxury goods. The Spanish culture doesn't get the... yeah, they don't have an obsession with wine like Italy. But that might be one of the reasons why their standard of living is pretty low. Yeah, their upper strata is suffering so much. Yeah, they just cannot... Everything is taxed for them, so they cannot afford anything. 40% taxes for the... And yeah, most of it is consumption. I guess. But there's not many of them to protest, so maybe that's something to do. It's not like their interest groups are super hating them. Yeah, it was played by AI, so who knows why it's done, but yeah, it is a strategy. And they do have landed voting, which is pretty good start to removing landowners from power. And wait, where are the interest groups? I'm not sure why I can't see the interest groups, but yeah, landowners are strongest, though industrialists are pretty strong. Catholic Church is also pretty strong. Oh yeah, and this is a progressive party with church and intelligentsia. Yeah, because this guy is a Democrat. This could be pretty good opportunity for 27% for census suffrage, and landowners wouldn't even be that pissed. Removing the separation of state would be a bit harder, though industrialists would support it, so maybe not impossible. Religious schools, charity hospitals, probably would want to change those, but not really a priority. Legacy slavery in Spain? Is it in like... Yeah, it's probably in like colonies or something. Yeah, Zanzibar is a slave state. They lost a bit of GDP probably from Cuba. Well, AI has been doing some interesting things with their economy, I guess. Oh, they begin with legacy slavery. Ooh. Do they start with Zanzibar? No, they don't. It was taken from Oman. So where are they legacy slave states? Interesting. Never mind. They are in their own market now. Now they had AI war with France. Yeah, that's an issue. Wood is super expensive, steel is expensive, coal is expensive. At least they have... Oh my god, they're not importing Austrian trains. No wonder their economy is bad. Iron is pretty good price. Yeah, that's one of the reasons French market is suffering. They're lacking the Spanish iron. Though most of the stuff are produced in Belgium, to be fair. But still, I think Spain definitely playable. They do have their colonies. They still have Philippines for some reason. I thought they lost them, but not. And they still have protectorate in Morocco, which is something. Yeah, maybe Puerto Rico, but they do not have this anymore. Or Cuba. Decent literacy, decent universities, not bad production tech, pretty bad military, but not as far back as some other nations. They don't have anything in tier 3. That's pretty bad. And though they could get ironclads pretty quickly if they wanted to. And society, honestly, pretty good. They can get labor movement in a year and then get steel frame buildings with no penalty, which currently it is 3,000. Yeah, so it's with the ticking, it's probably better to just get labor movement first and then switch into steel frame. But yeah, honestly, I mean, Spain is pretty rough because of the AI control, because of the loss of the market and some strange decisions, but I don't think it's bad. Still, it's because of the AI control. It just goes into C, but definitely playable. And East India. Still a super big GDP, pretty low literacy as you'd think. Presidential republic, I think they start with this actually. No home affairs, no schools, no healthcare. That's actually pretty rough. I think the schools would be very nice for them. Per capita taxations, agrarism. I think there's not much changes from the start in here. Landowners. Oh, landowners got the... Ah, they're suppressed. Never mind. I thought it was the revolution thing. And they are still pretty strong. They are actually not that high on money. They probably have, yeah, they have giant construction capacity, and they are producing a ton of raw resources in here, but it's really not as high. China probably has more, even as an AI. I wouldn't be surprised. And never mind. They used to have way more, but they don't. They would probably have more if they had a lower production method, but it's just too expensive for them to have tools and iron. still probably the highest construction that a nation can afford, because in theory Great Britain has more, but it struggles to pay for all of it. What was Germany's? This is 600. Germany has 560. Yeah, so a bit lower, and it's Germany probably can afford it, but it would be you have to lower the armies and get higher taxes. So it is something, but the lack of education is a bit worrying. I wonder how the technology is doing. Production is pretty damn good, somehow. I guess just keeping them on top of their universities is very important. Yet they have finished H2. It's pretty good. Yeah, military is suffering a bit. Still, it's not too bad, almost finished with H2. And society, not too bad. Honestly, for 24 literacy, pretty good, all things considered. Army, I don't think they have, yeah, they have only mobile artillery. And they are part of the British market, of course, when they are probably producing most of the goods. Of course, the biggest population in the world, from the player nation, of course. Still, China has double population of India still. Damn, that market is absolutely massive. France might get a ton from selling stuff to them. It's hard for me to judge India, because sure they have the biggest construction out of players, but at the same time, what can they do with this? With their no, they have pretty good technology for their literacy. I think, like, honestly, India is in. I would really want to see how they fare outside of the British market. How much is it them? How much is it Britain? Though I guess at this point they are so intertwined. It's pretty much the same thing, and they haven't been to a really big war. They fought with France last session, but I'm not sure how much it was them and how much it was the British fighting. They probably have a ton of conscription available, though they haven't been using much. Ah, no, they have them. 100 in this army, no in this, and they must have more. Yeah, they have a ton more. Yeah, 600 battalions from military, which honestly I thought they would have more. Yeah, I mean they have way more than double population of Austria-Hungary, and there's at least 300 conscripts available. I think I'm not sure about the India's power, but I think they should go into A tier. Okay, only 4 left. Russia, let's see. Very healthy income, very nice reserves. Literacy is going up, they must be getting some education institutions. Yep, probably relatively recently going for more healthcare. And they have private healthcare, I think, yeah. Going for even more education, which is pretty good move. Still monarchy, autocracy, national supremacy, not much changing here, but I think they didn't have appointed bureaucrats. That's something. No home affairs. Homesteading, laissez-faire, free trade. They do have laissez-faire. I heard someone saying, I thought it was Russia, but I guess maybe Germany was saying they don't want laissez-faire. Though landowners are not as strong as they used to be, definitely. Church still moderately strong, but things are getting good. Industrialist by far the strongest, so there's some things you can work with that. I'm surprised they're making this much money. New ruler is Intelligentsia, if I recall, right? Yeah, and the reformer as well. Oh, they will be able to get actually only 16%. Yeah, already plus 10, minus 10, the favorite combination of debates. And they're actually already passing 2, so it's getting quite close. Did you actually get 2 hits on like 16% or even 26%? Yeah, wait, it was 6. Did you get like a hit on 6%? It kind of looks like it. Still, at this point, probably should pass unless you get some unlucky. 41% to stall. It might be quite annoying. It might you get a lot of stalls and debates before you finally succeed, or you get a good roll. Oh hey, why you not getting a bit more construction?
I haven't. It's not been on my mind.
Oh yeah, fair enough. It's the same happened to me last session.
And daughter, I'm trying to control radicals a little bit. They are getting a bit high.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. It is pretty high.
It's manageable, but
yeah, especially this is the like comparison to loyalists is big difference, and it is getting to -3 in interest groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Probably lowering taxes a bit could be.
And I'm also I've been supporting Egypt as well. Like I think 50k, 55k.
Oh, yeah,
when I was building Suez.
Pretty significant, so. Yeah. Pretty significant. And I guess you're going for how much you're paying for institution. Yeah. And though you have more than enough administration already, and you're getting even more.
Yes, but I'm going to get the child labor law. And also steel taxes. I know.
Yeah, I think you might be overproducing at this point a bit. You probably should test it in single player, because I think you have, you already have like enough for 3 levels.
Well, I'm about to do a mass university build, so.
Oh yeah, really massive.
I need the qualification.
Yeah, fair. You have a lot of states.
Well, lots of states, and some of them have like nearly 1 million in each. So it's like just there's universities. I just need educated workers.
Yeah, your market is high prices of clothes. Like pretty much every place except for the British market have some problems with clothes for some reason. I'm not sure why. What happened?
I think it's the balance between Twitch and between PMs. I think is the issue.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yes,
everyone's trying to step up themselves.
And often the expensive clothes are have so much higher basic price that it's more worth it to sell them even when their price is low. One thing I noticed.
Yeah.
So like you see that it's green, so you just switch, and it's not necessarily good for your poor strata, though it could be good for the factories at least. Importing some good Austro-Hungarian fine art, that's really good. Expensive ammunition, but I guess it doesn't really matter much, because it's gonna be super expensive anyways when you enter a war, and that's only then gonna be an issue.
Okay, I think I'm overproducing iron.
Yeah, a lot of places are, to be honest. Though we will be switching to steel buildings, so that's probably gonna be solving that problem. No, it's fine. It's -10%. That's probably ideal. -15% steel, like. Especially like basic mines, I think they have really low costs, so it's easy for them to be profitable. They're just paying workers, and it's, I think, really cheap.
Yeah, that's been one thing when I annexed Finland, was downgrading the automation PM.
Yeah. You have to manage it every time.
Well, I want more labourers. I don't want them.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
was wondering about like the tickets. The railways produce so few tickets that even for the like small nations like Denmark, I was thinking that it's maybe like they get a few hundred people per, even with the highest tech for railways, you get a few hundred people freed. I guess maybe the quality of the jobs is a bit higher, but it's not exactly I think how it should work.
I think the issue is just every level of transportation is 5k workers. There's no distinction.
Yeah. No, I guess the not really talking about your nation in particular, but the harvesting tools is good in reducing employment. But the train things, I don't think it's that good, especially since usually it's more expensive as well. Maybe it needs some tweaking in game, but we'll see about that. Let's see your tech, by the way. Yeah, you don't have the explosives yet, which is huge for mines.
I don't need them yet.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I actually didn't switch them on for my iron mines because I already have like minus 15% like you, and it really wouldn't give me much. So maybe I should, because as I said, iron prices are really low. If I have enough dynamite.
That's also the issue. I've got so many more empty iron mine slots to use still.
Oh yeah, 100. That would be a lot of explosives to get.
I can still build more iron mines though. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good point from Joacha, that you can get companies for throughput for railways.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be a good way for small nations to like get more manpower for industry. That's a good point. You are a few techs behind in production, but it's not too bad, I think.
No, I focused on getting ironclads.
Yeah, you do have ironclads now, which is at the time everyone is getting them. Still a bit behind in military as well. You don't have shrapnel. And society is not too bad, but I think 1 or 2 techs behind. To be expected, all things considered. So some nations, I'm not sure how India has so much tech, but it really feels like they have more, considering their literacy is like half of yours, and they have like double the like a few techs more than you do. I didn't count it exactly, but it kind of feels like it.
I wonder if it's down to having the UK as the overlord.
Yeah, like, but how would they gain more tech from this? Like, where would this bonus come from? Oh, maybe stuff like using bonuses from interest groups.
Or it could be that what he's done is he's not using what text to choose. He is saying what the
and then
technology thread is researching, and then researching that.
Yeah, that could be a bit more efficient. So yeah, maybe there's that, and possibly. No, his literacy wasn't going down. I guess because he was gaining more states, but actually all the states seems like they have higher literacy on average than the states in actual East Indian Company, probably because the AI was putting edicts or stuff. Yeah, I think Russia is typical Russia, which is big, strong, but not exactly literate for the time being. Though it might be changing.
It's like a steamroller. It takes time to get up to speed.
Yeah, though you are not getting. Which institution are you?
You're still in India.
Oh, yeah, I'm still in India because. Oh yeah. Some nations really get a huge increase in grade curve. Yeah. That's what I was expecting to see.
Well, I think I've got all states incorporated as much as I can.
Yeah, and Finland was actually that's like 1 million population, so maybe not that much increase, but still it's pretty good for new states to increase your average rather than decrease it. That's good. Oh, well, now that I look at why does Moravia has like way less literacy than Bohemia? Wait, where can I see literacy on the screen?
Information.
Oh yeah.
Fifth tab. Next one. Right at the end. There we are.
38 versus 75. What happened here?
How many? Oh, actually, I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. Maybe I guess Bohemia had the state edict for a bit.
State edict, turmoil.
And, maybe people were leaving Moravia for some reason. I'm not exactly sure. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, the reason why I've done universities is the tax spread.
Yeah, of course. You have way more universities for the. But tax spread is not involved with universities, right?
You do 0.2 of anything, any unused innovation that goes over the cap, is added to tax spread.
Ah, okay. The spill
Oh,
that you were talking about.
yeah, tax bill.
Yeah, you're getting 20, so 1/3 of your technology spread is from this. So I actually need to build more universities at this point then.
Because they give you qualifications and they help towards tech, so.
Yeah, and I'm behind on tech as well because of poor decisions in the past, so gotta catch up somehow.
Don't forget to also improve the PM as well. Change it up to level 2.
Yeah, I think I got it. I forgot to change it for the arts production, which I have actually quite a bit, and I could switch them to different ownership, which could be for arts is actually pretty nice. You can get a lot more intelligentsia or capitalist this way. Okay, I think Russia goes into A.
You know what? I'll go put 1,000 points in. You know.
1,000 points of what? Sorry.
Well, no.
On the chat, okay. Oh, of course, right. Yeah, good point. And let's get the second to last roll.
I'm gonna bet blue.
Good choice.
Oh.
That's gonna be a tough one, to be fair, because unlike Egypt last time, Italy is not actually that close to be finishing the war. It's like a year away and they're gonna win, but I guess I just will let it go and see where they end up. And it's actually, how are they doing on prestige? Yeah, their current prestige is of course super low. They might lose their great power status before even it's over. Yeah, pretty sure they will. It's
they'll lose it, but they'll get it back.
Yeah, but I think that they need more prestige to get it back than to keep it, right? Most things work this way in this game. They do regain the states as the no, never mind.
Yeah, they should.
No.
They should regain the state.
Well, they aren't really. I thought for a second I switched into the revolt, but I didn't.
No, UK and Germany are doing the heavy lifting there.
Yeah, at this point there's no manpower for the revolution. It's just getting the battles done, and it's actually it's 2 fronts, so that's actually pretty nice for them. They get a bit more battles. They might actually be ending this before the war is over. Looks like the war support is dropping pretty quickly.
I'm gonna head off.
Okay, see you. Yeah, I just need to wait for this 12k of the revolution, 20k in total. Actually, yeah, they might just make it before they lose the power status. It's actually ending way faster than I thought it would. I guess that's nice. Let's see if they can easily keep their Oh, they need a lot of prestige. Let's actually let it tick a week and see how it looks now. Ooh. So how would you gain additional 300 prestige at this point? I'm not entirely sure. I think they were building... is this full construction? Oh, the construction is paused, which makes sense because they had no... Italy is in default? What? What? Why is it in default when it's making money? Did it like inherit the status from the rebellion? Yeah, I guess some of it will be recovered from the armies, but oh, I guess the count reset for some reason. Maybe it will be doable in a year, but let's not dwell on it. The economy is going to be increasing, and probably they can afford the construction, since it's not that much anyways. Yeah, easily being able to afford construction. The interesting graph for economy. Oh yeah, it's not counting from the beginning of the game. That's kind of not nice that it's not keeping the historical data. It shouldn't be that much for the save, right? But I guess for Paradox, every efficiency they can get is worth taking it. That's interesting graph for radicals as well. And they can even, Italy can even go for lower taxes. I wonder how worth it is to put consumption taxes on wine. I guess it's a fair amount of money, but it is every pub is consuming it in Italy, right? Because they have the obsession, so it's hitting every strata pretty hard. But I guess lower strata is fine. Oh, they are not buying wine despite it being their obsession. Or I guess... Oh, it's the wine is just so cheap it doesn't really matter. I guess that's fine. So let's look at Italian laws. Parliamentary republic. They are removing state religion, and I think they have pretty decent chances of succeeding. Appointed bureaucrats, which is pretty good because I assume they get some money from it, but eventually they would probably prefer to switch into elected bureaucrats, which should be pretty easy anyways. Personal army, no home affairs, no healthcare system, and religious schools, which is not ideal. Because it is a bit less education access, it is strengthening the church, and of course healthcare is very nice at improving that standard of living. Currently it's out of whack because of the rebellion. Tenant farmers, at least poor laws. I'm not sure how welfare payments are worth it, but maybe. Right of assembly, pretty nice to reduce that penalty from technology spread from censorship. It's something I really need to do myself. Not definitely some stuff to work on in Italian laws. Still a work in progress, as they say. Economy, okay. Construction is definitely the lowest out of GPs, but it's hard for me to say. The Civil War did wrangle all things, so it's gonna be probably even a few years before things come back to normal for them. The market, as it's possible to... probably there's no trade routes, or at least they... even if they are probably regaining their position. So they will be probably importing more iron, more wood. And they are also lacking dice, which might be difficult to get. Nobody has dice in Europe. Also lacking clothes. Yeah, pretty much missing everything, but it's probably all civil war. Yeah, probably not much chance of overtaking Italy, and I think even if Italy was, Belgium is ahead of Mexico in GDP. Oh no, Mexico is a bit ahead by just 1 million. The technology for Italy, one of the few things not affected by their civil war. Literacy is alright. Could be definitely better without the church education. Not enough universities, definitely. Could build like 20 more. The production tech is pretty good. I'm almost finished with the second era, and then it's free expansion to fertilizer, to dynamite, whatever they want. Oh, so you're still down like 12 million. It's probably the trade routes. I assume a lot of buildings don't have full employment and so on. And they are recruiting still. Yeah, that's probably it. Military is not that great. Still no ironclads, and actually if you want to research them without penalty, it's quite far away. It's almost double price currently. The logistic is being researched, and then you're missing just after finishing hydraulic cranes, it's just triage, so not that far away at the same time. But other land tech would also be nice, definitely shrapnel artillery, and people are getting close to advanced tactics training is about to be pretty much everywhere in the great powers, and trench infantry is actually getting pretty close. Only Germany could research it currently, like with a decent penalty, but in like 5 years probably people will be starting to research it. And society, not probably worse than production. Modern sewage would be nice, and getting to steel frame buildings. Oh, and lacking pharmaceuticals, so that's probably what's stopping Italy from getting public healthcare, because they should have... Wait, church is marginalized? Oh yeah, they have no clout. Okay, so getting public healthcare might be difficult for Italy. I guess private healthcare is going to be pretty easy, but it's not ideal, not the best solution. Oh, it also removed universities and construction. Yeah, I was thinking same for France. I was thinking that AI must have been removing universities. Oh, it's because it was Catholics who were rebelling. Where's their... Oh yeah. So they have 27 currently. Let's compare it to like intelligentsia. Yeah, they will be pretty strong at the church once they come back. So public healthcare might be available eventually, and it will at least make them happy. Yeah, censorship is not ideal, especially when you need to catch up a little bit, which same. Yeah, Italy is pretty hard to define currently, because they need to fix stuff from civil war. Yeah, that is the biggest problem with civil wars. The AI just messes up stuff. But for the time being, I guess it's B, because very hard to tell what's the actual position of Italy. Though they did get Tunis from GB apparently, who used their influence on the totally independent Ottoman Empire. How did it work technically? Did Italy just declare a play on Tunis and it accepted? because I don't remember any war for Tunis. But so UK did a wait. So Italy declared war on UK for or did you declare on the Ottomans? Oh yeah, it was a subject of Great Britain because it switched to Great Britain after they took Ottoman Empire to the market, I think, or something like that. Okay, because for some reason I was thinking Tunis was still a vassal of Ottoman Empire. And I don't think it even starts as a vassal of Ottoman Empire, so I'm not sure when GB took it for themselves, but it's just another thing. So Italy has good potential. Let's see how much they will be able to recover and how fast it will be. Hopefully before they lose their great power status, which should be doable, I think. Okay, final roll. And it's Persia. So Belgium is gonna be the last. Persia is interesting because they have pretty high literacy, so let's see how they've been using it. They have a decent amount of universities. Money is fine currently. GDP is not the highest, but not too bad either. They are on the level of like Gran Colombia. Maybe decently higher than Denmark. Portugal actually has pretty high GDP, like almost higher than Spain. Okay, let's see what they have. Laws. Still monarchies to autocracies. They went down from national supremacy, though that was probably for like movement or something, because it actually doesn't matter much for the discrimination in Persia, and it's not like there are that many cultures to oh, they are. I guess that those people have been moving in from somewhere, because I don't think they start in like Somalis. How did they even get here? That's because of the British market.
Slave trade. Also slave trade, I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah, slave trade removed. That's a big one for Persia. You got religious schools. I don't think you start with anything, right? With education.
I'm pretty sure I start with them.
Oh, maybe. And homesteading, so that's at least something done again. How strong are your landowners at this point? Still pretty strong, but they're getting there. The church now is becoming a new problem. Though you could use them now to get, once you get pharmaceuticals, to get at least public healthcare, which is pretty nice. Still land-based taxation, which is limiting the income from taxes for Persia. Oh yeah, this is because you have high education institution, it's giving a lot of power to the church and state religion. Highest taxes, but you actually don't have that many radicals somehow. 15 construction sector, and doesn't look like you can afford that much more, honestly, especially since you're an unrecognized power. That means you pay like $1 million for interest. Yeah, super not worth it. And that's one thing that's nice about Persia. They get their Shah, who of course lives forever, even with kidney stones apparently. He starts as Imperious, which means minus 25% decree cost. And also it affects radicals and loyalists, which is also pretty nice. The Catholics are super powerful in Felice. Okay. Honestly, like internally, the situation doesn't look much too bad. I think how's the immigration rate in Persia? Yeah, I think you are getting.
I still have a mass migration on that province.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
like it's like forest or something.
Yeah, I think you are getting more population than you are losing, at least currently, from the British market, which is a very crucial thing to take in mind. I don't think you're focusing any particular industry.
Opium.
Other than opium, of course. Yeah, that's another thing that is probably propping up the landowners because they get more. There's more aristocrats just from their farms.
I have Tabriz for producing construction goods.
Yeah, that's like the best province in Persia, Tabriz. How much
Yeah.
opium you are producing? Let's see.
I'm pretty sure second producer.
Yeah, second. Though, wow, British East India Company
Yeah.
is producing a ton, and probably all of it is going to Ching, right?
No, I'm
Or are
also
they using it?
researching so I can start discovering oil because Persia has a lot of oil.
Yeah, you have a lot of oil resources, to be honest. Like iron, coal, it's
So basically becoming Saudi Arabia.
yeah. And you actually have a decent population to at least man those men. Where is opium here? Oh yeah. So you guys producing 10k altogether in the British market, and you're exporting only 3K.
Look at the trade routes. I have one trade route that is just using up all my convoys. I can't produce any more convoys.
Oh yeah, because like Oman has the port.
But honestly, Britain needs to produce more convoys because like their trade routes could expand if they just had more fucking convoys.
Yeah, because you are actually India is probably mostly India is using twice as much opium as they are exporting to Ching. Yeah, but for like a plantation economy, you have pretty nice literacy. You probably have the edicts from the start of the game, right? On the.
You guys doing?
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, we're just it's Persia and then Belgium. We're second to last nation.
Are you looking at the game?
Yeah, I'm in game right now.
Okay.
It's like probably if you scroll up, there's a stream on the chat.
I see you're streaming. Okay. Yes, I see.
Let's see the tech for Persia. You actually, yeah, as expected, you're doing pretty good. I think you can still get a few universities and get some innovation from that, but you're finished with the second era. That's pretty nice. So that means you're actually fertilizer does not apply to opium, so
no, it's actually pump jacks for engines to get automated irrigation. I'm pretty sure that produces someone.
Yeah, you should also build more dye plantations. Like everyone in the world is maybe not the British market, but most people are suffering from not enough dye.
I mean, I had like a deal with the first Ottoman player to produce dyes for him, but that didn't pan out.
Yeah, I guess Ottomans have they are doing a lot of dying, but not the kind that are
Two players have rage quit on the Ottomans this fucking game.
Military not as much. I guess one thing you could get better tech for ports, but also Great Britain can do it for you. Yeah, military is suffering. Production is fine, but which was fair enough. And actually, society is also missing some crucial techs from what I see.
Yeah, I focused a lot on production tech.
Yeah, that's fair. And you are doing pretty decent on money anywhere. I guess Persia is fine. I guess it's going to go to the B tier. And that's gonna be the final roll.
What? You put the UK in D tier?
Uh,
Actual
No, no, no.
Austrian, actual Austrian moment, actual Austrian moment.
Have you not seen like two people used
everyone
their
voted UK to go
Yeah.
down.
Actual Austrian moment. I
You
don't
were in
care.
A at the beginning, but 4 people voted for you to go down, so that happened eventually.
You see, that's the problem. You never listen to the people.
It is a democracy.
Democracy is flawed.
Yeah.
Autocracy.
Actually, it's well voting, which because you vote with points you need to gather. So, yeah, as Great Britain, you should find yourself pretty well in this system.
Am I lagging? I can't hear you. Ah.
Yes.
You're not-
People were talking a lot in chat.
It is a nice
Yeah, kid.
spell
I think the health modifiers in the game just don't really work. People just live forever. Rulers, they just live at least to 70 or 80, and maybe then die.
I think your microphone is not working properly.
What do you mean?
It's cutting off. I don't know if it's me or
That-
chips. I don't know if it's just me,
how is it
but-
sounding on chat?
No, it's,
Yeah, it sounds like it's you.
yeah, it's-
Or maybe Discord. That's also possible.
Blame it on the Discord, baby. Alright.
Oh, apparently society texts are more expensive than other types of texts. That I actually didn't. Let's see, level 3, it's 12k basic, and I guess the base for an era is the same for everything, but maybe eras are. Maybe it applies to previous eras? I'm not sure what you mean. Looks like the base text is the same. Yeah, it looks like maybe it works out that way if you count the text for different eras, but the base base cost is the same. Okay, let's get to Belgium, like the most industrialized small tiny nation, the second parliamentary republic in the game. They have interventionism, which I guess since they probably don't have enough workers anyway, that's fine for them. Colonial exploitation, private schools and healthcare, which they don't have that high quality standard of life compared to Denmark, at least. Brunei with the second, and Landfang with the third. Those gold mines. And pretty high institutions, as you'd expect. They have a bit of debt and not making that much money because they have full wages for prestige to have more than Denmark. But by the way, the government wages only give prestige to the medium level. High and very high wages do not give more prestige. So I guess unless you get if intelligentsia doesn't like you, then you can make them like you, and that's a bit more prestige, but other than that there's no reason to keep it that high. Are they building military to get more? They're building ports. If they were building navy, they could get a bit more prestige to compete with the Danish ports. Apparently anarchism is super strong. I have no clue how it works. The United Belgian States, I'm not sure why they're called that. Maybe because they got Luxembourg? Or maybe because they're parliamentary. I don't know. Well, they are still a super powerhouse when it comes to production. Yeah, building almost as many tools as France, which is why the French market is suffering a little bit currently. Super mill explosives, decent amount of steel mills, though I don't think that's... no, still in the number that's 7, so not too bad. Shipyards, are they on top of there anywhere? Yeah, there's still not that far behind Denmark in steamers. And I think they have decent production of ironclads. Number 2 behind Germany. Damn. I guess they did it for prestige as well. Because I think ironclads are one of those that give 40 for number 1. Yeah, that's a good thing to be ahead in. Are the steamers the same? No, steamers are just 20, 10, 5. So typical. And other than that, not much, just out of basic stuff. I don't think they're producing that much iron for. Oh, are they out of manpower just totally? Let's see their population at this point. Yeah, I assume there is still some peasants, though they might be in their colonies. Wait, they actually have barely any colonies. Never mind that. And yeah, that's where the peasants are anyways. So yeah, their current issue is getting more... there's a few in Flanders. And 31 peasants in Wallonia. Very nice. What are the companies? Yeah, it's just basic mines. I guess they could remove this one. I mean, still a mill's throughput is nice, but it would be more throughput if they got an actual steel company, and they could get some other bonuses as well. And I don't think those companies are good for them really. They have full prosperity, which I'm always unable to achieve. Okay. What's their technology? They have... Whoa, their literacy is pretty low, to be honest, for such a small nation. Yeah, they're like half of Denmark. No wonder Denmark are better poets than the Belgians. They also don't have universities, which might be an issue coming from their lack of manpower. Maybe they should just build all their universities in their colonies and use it that way. Production tech. Oh, they are doing super well on production tech, which is probably what they were focusing. Dynamite, reinforced concrete, open hearth process, and rubber massification already. Okay, so that's pretty nice. Military, of course, it's where it's going down, but they do have ironclads, so they're not as behind as some other nations. And society, pretty good, finished with tier 2. Yeah, so overall, despite having average literacy and not that much innovation, they have pretty good tech, all things considered. And they have very high GDP for their size, but I think they actually, yeah, their GDP is going down for some reason. Maybe it's because of the switch to the German market. Their production is, construction is probably not that big, but it's not like they need more. They are mostly worried about getting the workers. They could use, yeah, they could gain a few workers with the harvesting tools. Actually, rice, that's probably in the colonies. And they are using transportation already. Ooh, so they are really running out of workers at this point. How big are the prices for the railways for them? Pretty high in Wallonia, pretty low in Flanders, but I assume they have a lot of people working in the railways. Yeah, level 9 in both. It's 50k in railway and in Flanders, and 50k in Wallonia. I mean, they would probably need them anyways for infrastructure, at least some of it. But maybe they should do what Joachim was suggesting and just remove those companies and get more companies that give railway throughput. Yeah, they could get this one if they get some motor industries. Okay, never mind, they shouldn't get this one. This one also gives railway building throughput and also stuff to steel mills, so that would be pretty nice for them. And that's, I think, it for railways. So they could get like 25-30% throughput for railways. Maybe that would help a little bit. I don't think the mines are really doing it for them at this point. So I think Belgium is very strong, very nice, very good tech, but they are actually reaching the end of their capacity, and they're not really doing the Portugal thing and having a colonial empire, despite starting it. And they are expanding it, but so slowly it. Yeah, they're not. They don't have the tech for malaria, and yeah, the severe malaria is not going to be showing up for the time being. Wait. I think they could push for it if they had higher institution for... No, they have the highest they can get, so... I guess... I'm not sure how colonizing works, so... Probably Mexico ads are worth less than from USA or Western Europe, fellas, so... It's... not that much. Tommy, are you calling Romania Balkans? I guess Croatia cannot help and Bosnia cannot help being called Balkans,
Yes.
but Romania? How could you? Are there any angry Romanians?
Romania Balkan.
Okay, so that's gonna be the entire... Yeah, Belgium goes to B, because I think they're out of space to grow. I'm not sure what
Okay,
they're
now
gonna be.
put the UK in S tier just before you finish.
In what?
UK S tier.
Yeah, but you need to do the bribe.
What bribe?
In the chat, I think you need points.
Click to claim a bonus.
Yeah, well, it's a few. Like
I have
that
220 nulls, is that it?
yeah, but you need 1,000 to move up. So
I
sorry.
need 1,000 to move up. How
Yep.
about this? You get to keep your core territories, but the UK goes to S tier. That sounds
Core
like a fair deal.
territories?
Yes, that is Vienna.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
No? Okay. Actually, there is a state that's called Austria. Damn.
There is,
Okay, you get to keep Austria.
but I'm Austria-Hungary, so
You get to keep Austria. Is there a state called Hungary? Central
there is
Hungary.
Central Hungary, so it implies that everything around it is also Hungary.
Okay, you get to keep. I think you cut off on Discord again and I can't hear you. But you get to keep Austria, Transdanubia, and Central Hungary. What do you think?
Where's Transdanubia?
It's in the middle of Austria and Central
Oh
Hungary.
yeah. They would look ugly as hell. I'm gonna say no, but I have to finish now because it's already been.
You're gonna decline. You're
Yeah.
cutting off on Discord. Discord is shit.
Yeah,
I hate
it's
Discord.
has to be. I'm hearing you perfectly, so I have no clue what's the issue here.
Yeah, you're. I think it might be the noise cancellation or something from Discord. I'm not
it's-
sure.
Maybe, but maybe it's on Discord, but I have no clue what it would be. Okay, so
Yeah.
GG last day, last session, and see you guys next week.